You know, being based in the US, we have some of the most capable off-roaders in the industry, but there is still some really cool stuff we're missing out on. And Dad, where are we at today?
We're in Tokyo at the Mobility Show, and we are featuring forbidden fruit, Tommy, cars that we would love to get, but we don't because, well, we can't get it all.
Yeah, that's right. So we are looking at 3 examples of some fantastic four-wheel drives that a lot of the rest of the world gets that we don't in the States. And this is where we're starting. This is the Suzuki Jimny. And if you've ever heard of the side-by-side, you're on the right track as to what the Jimny is.
Yeah, you know, we had Suzuki as a brand in the country until about 10 years ago when they pulled out, but we never did get the Jimny, even though the rest of the world did, and I don't understand that, Tommy. It's basically like a baby Wrangler.
That's right, exactly. So let's talk about some of the tech. It's got a ladder frame like a Wrangler, it's got a solid rear axle and a solid front axle like a Wrangler, and it's got a true four-wheel drive system with the low range. It's just been shrunk down.
Yeah, you know, I think there's this belief that Americans don't like small cars. I think Smart kind of disproved that, or maybe it didn't because it's not in the country anymore. But you know, I would love a small four-wheel drive like this, especially one that's got like proven technology, you know, nothing fancy, but just something that's been around forever and that works.
Let's talk about the specs on this little beast. A 1.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with a 5-speed manual transmission. It's got about 100 horsepower. So it's not a very high-powered vehicle, but if you want to look down here, Dad, look, it's got true skid plates, it's got recovery points, solid axles down there, the most adorable 15-inch wheels you've ever seen. And I've seen these, especially like in Australia, there's some folks that really kit these out with rock rails and lift kits and fairly big tires. And they look fantastic, very capable, and they never made their way to the States.
Yeah, the British say it's just dying for some knobbly tires, Tommy, something with a little bit more bite to it. Does this come as a 4-door or just as a 2-door, do you know?
You know, Dad, I think they just revealed a 4-door variant, if I'm not mistaken. This is a Sierra trim, and they're quite expensive. They're not as cheap as you'd think. So the Wrangler in the US starts at about $30,000. Here in Japan, this also starts at about the equivalent of $30,000. So it's not as affordable as you might think, considering it's a couple feet shorter than even a 2-door Wrangler. But I love the look. I love the design, I love the capability. These things go everywhere, and I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, let's, you know, if this is America, throw in a winch, throw in a big old bull bar, maybe a 2-inch lift, some much more knobby tires, and of course, maybe a better bumper, and you'd have yourself quite the off-roader. Suzuki, bring it, and they will buy it.
That's the goal, Dad. That's the goal. I mean, it wouldn't, I'm not sure it would pass like US safety standards, and you've got the emissions stuff you have to consider. There was some talk in the EU, if I remember, recently about emissions in the Jimny. So yeah, I don't think it's coming to the States anytime soon, but fingers crossed. If this video goes viral, maybe it will.
Look, I mean, for God's sakes, you know, they brought in the Kazashi. Why wouldn't you bring in this instead?
I know.
Well, what's the next car?
It was silly. Well, the next car is just over there, and it's something you wouldn't expect.
Hey, Tommy, I want that one. Way over there.
Look at that. So we're here at the, as my dad said, the Japan Mobility Show, where they've got some really cool concepts. And Mitsubishi, in places other than the US, really does some cool off-roaders, and that certainly would be awesome if they made that.
The DX concept, but really it could be the next Delica.
Yeah, but let's talk about the current Delica, because this is a really interesting van. Now what we're looking at here is the angriest, tiniest little van you ever did see. This is the new Mitsubishi Delica Mini.
Looks like a junkyard dog with little teeth showing right there.
Yeah, look at that. It's got these like these fangs in the front. Yeah. Now you're probably thinking that's not an off-roader. It's some little front-wheel drive cube thing. Except the Delica Mini has an actual all-wheel drive system and some of the best use of space of any vehicle on the planet.
Can we open the door? Can we show them the inside?
Now, the Delica Mini, Dad, is what they call a K car. So this is a classification of vehicle here in Japan of ultra small, ultra efficient vehicles, and they're designed to fit in small spaces and pay a lower tax on. What'd you push there?
That didn't open. Oh,
there you go. Look at this, Dad. It's got, even this little van has an off-road mode. You see that?
Yeah.
Really cool. So in the back, you've got these almost reclining chairs. Look at that. Here, I'll get in.
Wait, why don't you get in and see how you fit? I bet you'll have a ton of room back here. Oh, look at that.
Unbelievable. So this car is smaller than a Mini Cooper, and I have room for days, like 3-4 feet of legroom.
There's a lot to be said for driving a box.
It's incredible. This is incredible.
What else I love, you've got WeatherTech, but I love that. That's like a real rubber floor mat. WeatherTech is fine, but that's so much nicer.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much space they are able to package into such a small vehicle.
Look at cute little mud flap, Tommy. Look, it's such a cute little mud flap.
The world's smallest mud flap. This one's a hybrid. Now, total horsepower on this vehicle is about 60 horsepower, which is not a lot of power, but keep in mind, it'll still do 75, 80 miles an hour pretty comfortably. It's got good space in the trunk.
I gotta say, it's the smallest car with the largest name across the back.
Yeah, really like the Delica Mini, and this is a good case of a vehicle I wish they would bring into the States. I'm not sure there's a huge market for it, but it just goes to show that, especially here in Japan, they have such creative thinking about problem solving.
Yeah, bring it and they will buy it. That's what I see. How about over here? What do you think of this guy?
Yeah, this is even cooler. Now, this is the full-size Delica, and this one's been outfitted with this neat Rally Art livery. And this is a true four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive van with a nice set of knobby tires, a lift kit on the suspension, and real off-road capability.
Well, I mean, look at those tires. Those are those are the kind of knobby tires that the Suzuki should have. Those are Yokohama Geolanders. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a true MT tire. As we make our way along the side here, you can see, Dad, we got that roof rack there, Delica branded with that spare on the roof.
How about the inside? Let's check it out.
Yeah, can I grab the camera here?
Yeah, show them the inside.
So you can see big, comfortable captain's chairs. You got the automatic transmission selector there. I mean, it's a comfortable, capable vehicle in here.
What's up with the furry Rally Art carpets?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're really into like their suede and
how much room is in the back? You want to try
velour. I think it's got a lot of room.
All right, give it a shot.
We're
not sure we're supposed to be sitting in cars here in Tokyo.
Yeah, so you can see here, I won't sit in it because they're giving us the stink eye, but lots of room,
Just hop in for, you closed it already.
Here's the thing, Dad, right? In the US, we don't consider vans as being very capable. The most capable we get is like the Sienna Woodland, but this is an awesome option for folks that live...
Out the back, let's see how much room there is. Are you worried about it? Tommy's worried about it. Oh, come on. Let's show him the back.
Is it huge?
Yeah, it's got 3 rows. So
yeah, it's pretty huge.
All right, but I gotta say, Tommy, if that concept right there is the next Delica, which is a plug-in hybrid, by the way, seating for 6, that's gonna be pretty awesome because that thing is like rolling on. Look at those tires. Those things are probably like 37s or something.
Yeah, so Mitsubishi guys built some really interesting, innovative off-roaders here for other markets that we don't get in the States. And petition your local dealer. Let's get some cool Mitsubishis out to the US.
I think I like the Mini the best.
The Mini's the coolest.
It is
thing's
the coolest.
rad. All right, we got one more to show you. Let's cut to the next manufacturer. And lastly, we've got the Toyota EPU Concept, a truck which just rolled out here in Japan. This is a Maverick-sized truck which previews the future of Toyota EV pickups. Really interesting little truck here. You got a full LED front end, looks really, really futuristic, Toyota badging there, and hopefully this truck's gonna make it to production with something really, really cool. So, Dad, what do you think? A unibody little truck, probably a 4-foot bed. You wanna take a little peek on the inside there? You got that yoke-style steering wheel.
Yeah, so this was designed in California at Calty Studios.
Yeah.
So it's got a very American feel to it, right? It looks a little bit Rivian, looks like a Rivian and a Santa Cruz got together, and after a passionate night of trucking, this is what came to be, Tommy.
All right, we're getting kicked out of here, Dad.
Okay.
But this should be a fully electric BEV concept here, and I think it rides on a skateboard concept with a thank you, yeah, with a potentially all-wheel drive system.
You want to end on the Land Cruiser, Tommy, since we're not getting kicked out of the Land Cruiser?
Yeah, for sure. That's right behind you.
And I mean that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a vehicle that's not forbidden fruit here in the U.S. The new Toyota Land Cruiser, which is the Prado here, I believe, Dad.
It says Land Cruiser on it.
But this is, of course, not the 300 Series Land Cruiser. This is the 250 Series Land Cruiser with the 2.4-liter hybrid engine and, of course, a proper 4-wheel drive. Here shown with an interesting, can I see this?
Yeah, with the interesting yoke, huh?
Yeah.
Open it up. There you go. Why don't you show them the yoke?
Yeah, look at that. We don't get that in the U.S. I wonder what's going on with that crazy steering wheel.
What do you think of the color?
I love it. This is, I think, a first edition Land Cruiser, but it's got the two-tone yellow with the white roof. It's got the knobby tires, Yeah, this thing is really, really cool, Dad.
You know what? I feel like we broke a lot of rules here at Tokyo. They kicked us off the stage.
And this one is, by the way, the
Yeah.
SE. This is another concept. It's a Toyota Land Cruiser concept called the Land Cruiser SE. And yeah, really cool design. Very maybe on-road worthy, right, for a Land Cruiser, but definitely unique.
All right, well, guys, thank you for joining us here from the Toyota stand at the Japan Mobility Show. And we've got a lot of videos that we're producing here. The coolest one so far is, of course, Mazda. And if you want to see the new Mazda RX-7 concept, head on over to alltfl.com. We'll see you at the next one. Ciao.